Speaker number 6, Charles Sabinga. Out, story power. Story power, Charles Sabinga.
I will build a computer so beautiful and so useful, everybody will buy one. That's what Steve Jobs said to himself in 1976 when he co-founded Apple Computer. It seemed impossible at that time. People were still pounding out letters on manual typewriters and listening to scratchy vinyl records. If you remember these products, you're like me, old. Raise your hand if you own at least one Apple product. Keep it up. Look around you. Sometimes we forget it all started with an impossible story. Your story defines you. Your story determines your destiny. Your story has power. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who wants to do the impossible, your story has power. Let me tell you about Jeff. Jeff was a 52-year-old man. He joined our Toastmasters club to overcome his fear of public speaking. After the meeting, I asked Jeff, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." "When I was a kid, I believed I could fly. I jumped off of tables, I jumped off of roofs, I even jumped off my high chair. Scared my mother to death." Charlie, last year, I climbed up to the top of Mount Said in Glacier National Park. I looked over an 850-foot high mountain ledge, and I jumped. Of course I was wearing a parachute, but I was also wearing a wingsuit, and baby, I flew. Wow, Jeff, that's crazy. And you're trying to tell me you're afraid of public speaking? Why? When I was in 3rd grade, I was given a talk in front of the class. The teacher stopped me and said, "Jeff, are you stupid?" I was so humiliated. I vowed I would never, ever speak in front of people again. That story was so powerful, Jeff never gave a speech for 37 years. Our club encouraged Jeff to change his story. And you know what he did? He went from a 30-second icebreaker to a 7-minute inspirational speech in front of 500 people. Wow. Have you ever used the words, "I won't," "I'll never," "impossible" in your story? Your story has power. It can silence your voice, or it can give you wings to fly. Yeah. I want to tell you my story. Come back with me to the dairy farm where I grew up. I learned how to milk cows and stack those bales. Oh, they're heavy when you're only 12 years old. And do all the other endless chores related to farming. When I was 17 years old, I said to my father, "Dad, I think I can build a better bale stacker than the one I'm operating." "Charlie, you could never. It would be impossible for you to build a better bale stacker than those big companies." Did you know the Wright brothers' father preached at them? If God had wanted man to fly, he would have created him with wings. We all know how that story turned out. So I set upon my journey to build the stacker my dad said was impossible to build. 10 years later, you would have heard my wife preach at me. Charles, get real. This stacking machine is going to bankrupt us. You need your head examined. So I did. I had my head examined. The second time I walked into that psychiatrist's office, he said, Mr. Sebinga, the tests reveal you are a dominant, paranoid, depressed, schizophrenic.
Whoa.
Say what? You and your stupid tests don't know anything. You're full of it. And I stormed out of his office. However, his words haunted me. Was there really something wrong with me? If you know me, don't answer that question. Today, I thank that doctor for his diagnosis because it forced me to question all of my stories. I still believed I could build a better stacker. Like Jeff, though, I had secondary stories that took away my freedom for success. With a lot of help from my friends, and I mean a lot of help from my friends, I changed those stories. And within 12 years, I acquired 4 patents on a bale stacker and was operating a multi-million-dollar company selling those stackers all over the world. Like Jeff and Steve Jobs, my story gave me power to do the impossible. Your story defines you. Your story determines your destiny. Your story has power.